Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy by Douglas Adams. Tertiary phase.
If it was all a hallucination...
Yes?
What happened to that zarking robot?
Another world, another day. In 14 hours, the sun will sink hopelessly beneath the opposite horizon of scorn-jealous Zeta. Totally wasted effort, if you ask me. Not that there is anyone here to ask me, so I'll just keep walking around in this very tiny circle for a few hundred years more until my power cells give out.
Hello, robot.
Hello, mattress.
Oh, what's a mattress?
You are.
Oh, Flynn. Happy?
But clearly you are a very stupid one.
We could have a conversation. Would you like that?
No. And after I have calculated to 10 significant decimal places what precise length of pause is most likely to convey a general contempt for all things mattressy, I will continue to walk round in tight circles. Don't mind me, not that you do anyway.
What's a mattress?
You are a large mattress, and probably one of very high quality.
Really?
Yes.
In an infinitely large universe such as, for instance, the one in which we live, most things one could possibly imagine, and a lot of things one would rather not, grow somewhere. Thus it is that very few things actually get manufactured these days. A forest was discovered recently in which most of the trees grew ratchet screwdrivers as fruit. The life cycle of a ratchet screwdriver fruit is quite interesting. Once picked, it needs a dark, dusty drawer in which it can lie undisturbed for years. Then one night it suddenly hatches, discards its outer skin, which crumbled into dust, and emerges as a totally unidentifiable little metal object with flanges at both ends and a sort of ridge and a sort of hole for a screw. This, when found, will get thrown away. No one knows what it's supposed to gain from this. Nature, in her infinite wisdom, is presumably working on it. No one really knows what mattresses are meant to gain from their lives either. They're large, friendly, pocket-sprung creatures which live quite private lives in the swamps of scorn-jealous Zeta. They flollop about, blowing bubbles through the water, their blue and white stripes glistening in the feeble rays of its sun. Many of them get caught, slaughtered, dried out, shipped out, and slept on. None of them seem to mind, and all of them are called Zem.
Zem? And what's your name of a robot?
Marvin.
I value a deep dejection in your diodes, robot. And I glubber for you.
Must you? I think you should know that your globbering has not eased my dejection by a single jot.
You should be more mattressy. We live quiet, retired lives in the swamp, where we are content to flummock and volue, and regard the wetness in a fairly fluky manner.
If there is anything more unappealing, I expect it's your attention span. We've had this conversation every day since I arrived here.
We could discuss the weather a little.
I suppose so. Ahem. The dew has clearly fallen with a particularly sickening thud this morning. If I had teeth, I would grit them at this point.
Would you care to come for a thlollop?
No. Not because I find the concept depressing, which I most certainly do, but because I've been fitted with this infinitely more depressing artificial leg. As it is just the one steel peg, I can only pivot on it in very tiny circles, gradually digging myself deeper into this swamp. Flopping is therefore not an option.
Voon! I feel deep in my innermost sprung pockets that you have something on your mind.
More than you can possibly imagine. My capacity for mental activity of all kinds is as boundless as the infinite reaches of space itself, as opposed to my capacity for happiness. My capacity for happiness you could fit into a matchbox without taking out the matches first.
Right! What's a matchbox?
Well, I know I miss more than hit, with a face that was launched to sink, and I seldom feel the bright relief. It's been the worst day since yesterday. If there's one thing I have said, is that the dreams I once had now lay in bed. As the four winds blow,
Non-orthopedically sprung life forms are reminded that mattresses are the only sentient creatures to require regular flopping.
since yesterday.